name is Sally and welcome to or back to my channel. The video today is a practice activity. This is very useful for Duolingo as it is a new question type, but it's actually good general speaking practice for English. This activity can actually help you improve your memory in English and also your pronunciation. So this is a great practice activity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say a sentence. You listen and repeat the sentence. I'll do this twice, and then you'll see the written answer to each question. Now, at the end of this video, I am going to give you some tips, but I just wanted to get started with the practice. So I'll give you tips at the end. Let's go ahead and get started with the activity.
You can lay the book on the table. You can lay the book on the table. You can lay the book on the table. The table is between the chairs. The table is between the chairs. The table is between the chairs. She did her best to help him. She did her best to help him. She did her best to help him. I bought a quart of milk at the store. I bought a quart of milk at the store. I bought a quart of milk at the store. Birds chirp in the morning. Birds chirp in the morning. Birds chirp in the morning. We should play with Legos at camp. We should play with Legos at camp. We should play with Legos at camp. Choosing to do nothing is still a choice after all. Choosing to do nothing is still a choice after all. Choosing to do nothing is still a choice after all. Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. Leaves fall from the trees in autumn. What flavor of ice cream do you like best? What flavor of ice cream do you like best? What flavor of ice cream do you like best? Pavement is made of concrete or asphalt. Pavement is made of concrete or asphalt. Pavement is made of concrete or asphalt. He told us a very exciting adventure story. He told us a very exciting adventure story. He told us a very exciting adventure story. Stop waiting for exceptional things to just happen. Stop waiting for exceptional things to just happen. Stop waiting for exceptional things to just happen. My dog will fetch the ball if you throw it for him. My dog will fetch the ball if you throw it for him. My dog will fetch the ball if you throw it for him. The waves will wreck our sandcastle. The waves will wreck our sandcastle. The waves will wreck our sandcastle. I want to buy a onesie, but I know it won't suit me. I want to buy a onesie, but I know it won't suit me. I want to buy a onesie, but I know it won't suit me.
All right, let's move on to the tips portion of this video. The number one question that I get asked is, what do you do if you don't understand what is being said? How can you repeat something if you don't know what they said? You should get used to mimicking sounds. You should actually pay attention to what you're hearing and not what you think you're hearing. The reason is, when you hear a word for the first time in English, you actually develop correct pronunciation for this word. When you read a word first, sometimes the spelling and the way it's pronounced don't match, and you start pronouncing it incorrectly from the start. It's harder to undo words that you've learned incorrectly than it is to learn the pronunciation of the word at the beginning. So if you can get used to just mimicking the sounds you hear, your pronunciation will improve. Even if you already know what words are and what they mean, if you can get used to mimicking what you hear and not what you think you hear, your pronunciation is going to improve overall. So just practice this skill. It can be improved, and it's very useful once you get to that point that you are repeating back what you're hearing. Just practice, keep doing it. You'll get better at it. Okay, the other question that I'm often asked is specific to the Duolingo English test, and that is, should you attempt to answer the question if you don't understand the question? In the case of this question type, should you repeat if you know that you didn't understand it? I'm going to say absolutely yes on this question type, because you have the opportunity to gain points. Remember, Duolingo doesn't take away points, they just won't add points to your test. So the worst case scenario, if you don't answer the question, is you're not going to get any points. If you do answer the question, the worst case scenario is you're not going to get any points. But a good case scenario there is that you get some points. So you should try to answer the question even if you don't feel confident in it. Now, I will address something else. Sometimes people will comment that their test was rejected because they didn't answer the question being asked. This happens in the speaking response and the writing response to questions. So you'll have a question prompt that you read or listen to, and you give your response. What's happening here is maybe you are not addressing every point in the question, and Duolingo may suspect that you are giving a rehearsed answer for a question that you thought of before the test. Now, I think that's kind of mean to throw out the whole test because of one question, but that brings me to the point. On their study guide, they say that if you do not understand a question, to explain why. And the point here is, if you talk about why you don't understand the question, you are referring back to the question that they asked. And so therefore, that's sort of a way of proving that even if you're not answering the whole thing, you're answering the part you understood. And it's less likely to get the whole test thrown out because of one question. So my advice is, if it's this kind of question and you know you don't know the answer, make sure that you are addressing the part that you do know the answer to, and talk about the part you're not answering. Acknowledge that you're not answering part of the question and explain why you're not. I really hope this video has been helpful to you, and thank you so much for joining today. If you found this practice useful, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't and you're interested in my content, you can click the subscribe button and click the little bell icon to be notified of when I update new videos. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!